What is Jyotisha?
Jyotisha is actually a Vedanga.
How do you think numerologists help people around these four aspects of life?
It was a secret science which was not revealed to the common man.
What really Sade is, and is it really to be frightened about?
Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he became the Prime Minister during his Sati.
There are few actors who have completely changed their name.
This fast-pacing world of internet especially, there is almost everything available. And with the AI and ChatGPT, there is numerology, there is Vastu, there is astrology, Jyotisha, everything on the internet.
Referring to the internet and changing your name is like playing with fire.
Welcome to the podcast by JyotirVastu Academy, powered by the Art of Living. A platform with 40 plus certified and trained researchers and acharyas in the field of Jyotisha, Vastu, Numerology and Graphology. Today we have with us two of our amazing faculty members. One of them, Puja S. Raj. Welcome on the show, Puja ji.
Thank you so much.
Puja ji has been an expert numerologist and a Vastu consultant. Along with her, we also have Tanaya Roy, who is an acharya in Jyotisha, an expert who guides people and helps them in Jyotisha. Welcome, Tanaya ji.
Thank you.
So we once again welcome you, Tanaya ji and Puja ji, on the show.
Thank you so much.
So Tanaya ji, for our audience, if you can share in a few words, what is Jyotisha?
Jyotisha is actually a Vedanga. So it's come from the Vedas. It's one of the limbs of the Vedas. And Gurudev has actually beautifully described it as जब एक ज्योति दूसरे ज्योति को पहचानता है वो ज्योतिष होता है. So yeah, it's the light within one person recognizing the light within the other. Yeah, that's the most beautiful way of explaining what Jyotisha is. Yes.
And how does it help people? How do you guide? How does that light help the other light? How does it happen?
So Jyotisha is a knowledge, it's a skill which helps look into, get an insight into the other person's life. Not just this life, but also it's a sum total of maybe what are the karmic patterns they've been carrying since previous lifetimes, what they want to resolve within this lifetime, what are their challenges, what opportunities they're going to get. So pretty much a SWOT analysis of what this life has for you.
Amazing. So like she shares about people, helping them, guiding them. You know, when mostly people, the life is revolving either around money or career or relationship or about the health. So let me come to you, Puja ji. How do you think numerologists help people around these four aspects of life?
Not only these four aspects of life, Ashwinji, but much more. So basically, let's understand what is numerology. So numerology is the science of numbers. So if we see in our lives, we are surrounded by numbers. You know, the first thing, the time, the day you are born with a date of birth.
Correct.
And that date of birth is something which is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. True. Right? So those numbers are not just random numbers. You know, this wasn't a coincidence in the universe, you know. These numbers play a very important role in an individual's life. And also, there are so many other aspects which are governed by numbers, right? Your mobile number, your house number, your bank account number, you name it, and numbers are everywhere. Wow. And each number actually has a frequency attached to it. So there is a planet which a particular number governs. For example, number 1 is governed by Sun, number 2 is governed by Moon, number 3 is governed by Jupiter, number 4 is governed by Rahu Maharaj, number 5 is governed by Mercury, number 6 is governed by Venus, number 7 by Ketu, number 8 by Saturn, and number 9 by Mars. And all these numbers have a particular frequency, and that is how these numbers, through the vibrations that they create in your life, impacts you not only in money or career or relationship, but almost every aspect of your life. And that is where the role of numerology actually comes in. Why? Because when we align those numbers per your date of birth, when we make them compatible to your numbers, that is when the magic happens.
So if I have understood it right, you understand somebody's profile basing on the time of birth, date of birth, and then you can suggest them better on what numbers or how they can go around. If I have to choose a phone number, which one could help me? Is that what you mean? So the phone
Yes.
number is just an
the
example.
beauty of numerology is that you only need your date of birth. So if you have the correct date of birth, because usually, you will find a lot of people saying that we know the day we were born, but we are not very sure about the timing of birth. Right? So when the timing of birth is not accurate, that is when accurate predictions could also not be made. So numerology actually comes in to fill in that gap. So all the predictions and all the alignment is only based on your date of birth.
And that reminds me, I've seen a lot of celebrities, actors who also change their names. Does that also have something to do with the numerology?
Absolutely. Yes, you're right. So you see so many actors, so many celebrities for that matter. Everybody has taken up to this world of numerology for one very simple reason. When your frequencies are aligned to your date of birth, that is when you see that your life flows smoothly. One, that you go for a name rectification, wherein you just make a few letter changes here and there. For example, Ajay Devgan, so he just removed a A from the surname, and since then, if you see his, career has actually flown up like this. So there are few actors who have completely changed their name, like Kiara Advani. She went for a complete name changeover. So yes, names are very, very powerful.
Interesting. So if I understood it right, like the science says, everything is made up of energy in this universe. It's just waves of energy. So if we are able to tune into the right frequency as per our birth and our lifestyle, that can create a huge impact on what we are doing about taking us towards our success or the goals that we have. Is that how you would want to share it?
Absolutely. So the universe talks to us in the language of vibrations, energies, and frequencies. So numbers are actually the language of the universe.
So just like Puja ji was sharing, Tanaya ji, if I come to you, that when a person is born and accordingly, then as per numerology, if the name can be in that frequency, it helps that person get better. So same thing in Jyotisha also, there are certain alphabets when one is born, ki inki rashi ye hai. So is that also in the same frequency and the same lines that it is decided?
That is correct. So in Jyotisha, we have nakshatras and padas. And so 27 nakshatras and 4 padas each. So there are like 108 different sounds, different frequencies assigned to each nakshatra pada. And it's often that we take the sign of the moon, the nakshatra of the moon, and we keep the name with that particular sound. There's also been more research into this, and like our researchers have even come up with, maybe a name can be selected according to what works best for you in that chart, according to your chart.
Interesting. So when you talk about nakshatras and the padas, there's this thing about many people get scared or frightened about Sade Sati. Oh, my Sade Sati is about to start. I'm going through Sade Sati. So if you can simplify it for our audience of what really Sade Sati is, and is it really to be frightened about?
Sade Sati is definitely a very talked about phenomena. So if I just want to explain it in brief, क्या होता है, शनि देव जब आपके जो राशि है, जो चंद्र की राशि है, उससे एक राशि पहले उस राशि पे और उसके अगले राशि में जब गोचर करते हैं, this transit of शनि देव taking 2.5 years in each of the rashis accumulates to a 7.5 period, or the Sade Sati of Shani. That is what we call. And why is this often thought as to be challenging is because चंद्र जो हमारा मन का कारक है वो बहुत ही फास्ट है, एक राशि को 2.5 दिन में कवर करता है, जहाँ पे शनिदेव उसी राशि को 2.5 साल लगा रहे हैं कवर करने में. तो कहीं शनिदेव की जो एनर्जी है वो बहुत हैवी है, बहुत स्लो है, और हमारे मन को वो कहीं खींच रहा है. तो ये जो थोड़ा डिफरेंस इन द the characteristics of each of these planets, it kind of creates a slightly challenging period. However, like I think a lot of people know, it's not challenging for everybody. If your karmas have been good, if you've been disciplined, you've done the right thing, you get rewarded during this period. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he became the Prime Minister during his Sade Sati. So that explains that it's definitely not something to be feared of. You do the right thing and you can be happily awarded by.
Amazing. So if I got it right, though the planet is very slow moving, but it gives the result of karma much faster when the period is going on. Instead of it having the karma result coming after a few years, you get to experience your past, whatever actions you have done, the fruits of it in that period.
Yes, and not just of fruits of this life. You might be facing fruits of your previous life terms also. So, because your mind is experiencing it, it's during that 7.5 years that you do feel the impact of it.
So now I'm sure the audience is more relieved about Sade Sati, that it's not something to be feared about, but it's kind of a friend who is showing a mirror and who's helping you guide on the way.
Absolutely, that's the right way to put it. Yeah.
So this fast-pacing world of internet especially, there is almost everything available. And with the AI and ChatGPT, there is numerology, there is Vastu, there is astrology, Jyotisha, everything on the internet. So why do you think even after all of that, one should come to consult a numerologist? Imagine if they have to change their names. So why do you think they should come to you, Pujaji?
Ashwinji, this is a very good question. And I would like to take this opportunity to actually tell my audience that why just, referring to the internet and changing your name is like playing with fire. See, you have to understand, an expert knows what really goes behind rectifying a name or changing it completely. So it is not just a game of getting it to a good compound, getting it to a compound of 1, 3, 5, 6 and bringing it, to a favorable number by multiplying the alphabets or removing an alphabet. It is not as simple as that. For a good name correction, there are multiple steps. And a name correction is actually done properly only when it is aligned with your date of birth. So, with your date of birth, there is a Vedic grid which is formed. And through the Vedic grid, we actually come to a master number on which your name should be brought to. So, it's like numerology में भी आपका एक हॉरोस्कोप बनता है, उसमें योगास होते हैं, क्या गुड योग हैं, क्या बैड योग हैं. So we have to understand the energy of a chart and accordingly we have to select a particular number on which should be activated, on which your name should be brought to. And it is not just this, there are multiple steps. For example, first letter क्या होना चाहिए, because first letter is like the engine of the name, First letter ka, and whether it is compatible with your personality number, whether it is compatible to the other numbers which are present in the grid or not. And most of the times you cannot really do much with the first letter. Then we have to give that energy to the rest of the letters. When we are doing the name correction, what really also needs to be seen is the placements. Kis placement pe kaun sa letter aa raha hai, that has huge impact on different areas of your life.
Interesting. So just like in Vastu, what we are placing where in the house, the same way it is with letters in the name, which one is placed where? Like you mentioned, it's the engine and then which letters are placed behind.
The placements and even the pairings, कौन से letter के alphabets कितनी बार आपके name में आ रहे हैं, that creates a different impact in your life.
That's interesting.
Not only that, so, like हमारे ज्योतिष में दशास चलती हैं, वैसे ही आपका जो नेम है उनकी भी अल्फाबेट वाइब्रेशंस होती हैं. So at one point in time you are actually running through one particular alphabet's vibrations which is actually impacting you in a certain way. So all that has to be taken care of. So if you ask me, there are about 10-12 parameters which needs to be looked in before we finalize on a name, and that is when it is done correctly that results are so amazingly out there to be seen. And this is the reason why the world has woken up to the power of numerology, but it must be done under the right guidance with the help of the experts.
Amazing. I didn't know, of course, about so much details like you mentioned about the engine or the placements of the alphabets and how beautiful this could be. Now it calls that maybe I should also get it checked sometime very soon.
Absolutely.
Coming to you, Tanaya ji, what do you think? Of course, again, the same question, the internet is filled with Jyotisha, astrology. Why do you think one should really go to an expert consultant for this?
Yeah, so to be honest, there are these AI websites and things which do help in getting maybe a first glance or first understanding about, say, what your natal chart is like and things like that. But I think the problem comes in when you're starting to base your life decisions on those, AI generated answers. For example, one of the most common things we regularly see is that people have just, who want to go in for a marriage have just got an Ashtakuta score, the Guna match done on an online website, and they see, oh, it's a very good score that they are getting, and then that's it, let's get married or whatever. But then inevitably few months down the line, the cracks start appearing and the problems start showing. So,
and then they go to the Jyotisha very late.
Yeah, then they go to the Jyotisha. So this is actually one of the most important things. So when you're taking these major life decisions, do not base it on just, a computer generated answer. Speak to somebody who has the knowledge, who has the skill to go deep into what your life holds for you and what is right for you.
Got it. So if I got it right, for any aspect or like you said, a change of career or job or relationship, so a consultant would act like a mentor, a light, as a guide in life, which absolutely cannot be possible on internet. And just like if I look at things when you have to learn yoga or meditation, there is a lot available on the internet. But when you have the right mentor, the meditation gets more easier. Like when people come to Gurudev, is so much more different than learning meditation on the internet.
Absolutely, you've got it right. That's it.
See, I would like to add here, this is the field of occult science. It is not a dry piece of information that you can pick up anywhere and apply it in your life and expect some miracles to happen overnight. A consultant, they have given in years of hard work, learning that particular knowledge, that wisdom. There is a lot which goes behind it. There are researches which happen and they come out of experience, so it is better. So like, for example, you do not give yourself your own medicine. When you are sick, you always go to the expert doctor for a particular problem. Similarly, when it comes down to your life questions, when you know that you need some help, you know that you have the potential, but somehow things are not working out for you, that is when you actually take the help of these sciences. It is just a little push. It is just a little alignment somewhere that is required.
A little bit of tuning and tweaking and the frequency matching.
Absolutely. So once that happens through the right guidance, through the right consultation, you see such tremendous changes happening in your life just for the positive.
If I can just add one more thing as well. Talk about JyotirVastu Academy. We are all sadhaks ourselves, okay? So not just the learning of the science and the art of predictions, but also we take in a lot of time to prepare ourselves to come into that alignment with nature, do our sadhana, so that we can intuitively help you, guide you by feeling what the right thing is for you. I'm sure no AI generated or website is going to be able to do that for you. So I think that is where one of the biggest difference lies.
तो एक बंदा है जो जीवन में बड़ा परेशान है, बट अभी वो कहाँ जाए, वास्तु के पास जाए कंसल्टेशन के लिए, या फिर does he really have to go to a numerologist or astrologer, Jyotisha, a lot of things in the same field. So he may get just lost or confused of where to go, what to follow, what not to follow. What do you have to say on this?
Yeah, that's actually a beautiful question, I tell you. And you're absolutely right, because there's so much on the platter. What exactly is it that is going to fill in your stomach, right? See, I'll tell you one thing. These all sciences are beautiful. And the best part about them is that they are complementary to each other. You know, there's no disharmony in between any of these, you know. So if you see, Jyotisha is like the root, you know, and there are different branches which are coming out of it. Numerology is one, Vastu is another, different sciences are, occult sciences are there. Now, Vastu, the beauty of Vastu is that, see, this life is nothing but an amalgamation of dashas and dishas.
Dashas and dishas. Interesting.
So there is a certain time period that you're going through, which are called your dashas, which is going to impact you in a certain way. It's like an energy with the planets, you know, with the transits of the planets, with whatever, per your horoscope, whatever dasha you are going through, it is actually creating certain energy which is impacting you in a certain way. You know, so keeping the name aside, because name is like a constant mantra which is working for you like every second of the day, which not only you are actually giving it power, everybody who knows you by that name, who's calling you out from that name, is also putting in a lot of vibrations
And that
to
name
it.
also goes on your Instagram username.
Absolutely. So social media, imagine, it's all there. It's all
The whole
floating
world
in
is
the
seeing that
universe.
name.
Absolutely. So keeping the name numerology aside, so when we talk of Vastu and Jyotisha, they both are actually clubbed with each other beautifully. One without the other is actually incomplete. Dashas and the dishas. So, you know, if you have a correct Vastu, if you have made a home, your office space is made per the correct Vastu, जो शास्त्रों में हमें बताया गया है, when we are actually deriving the positive energies of all the directions in a certain way, so अगर हमारी दशास change भी हो रही है ना, कभी positive, कभी negative, those dishas are actually going to ensure that we are not impacted negatively.
So it's like a shield. When you already have the right Vastu, the energies, right energies create like a shield.
So it
for you.
actually creates a shield, a protection shield. So even when, you know, there are arrows coming from all sides with different transits, with different, dashas, changes, and whatever is going on in life, it actually gives you a very solid ground.
So like Gurudev shares that when you are following, when you are on the path or when you are following the scriptures or the Vastu, it's like जो तीर निकला था सिर के लिए वो मुकुट लेके चला गया.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and the right Vastu actually not only impacts you as an individual, everybody who's in the family, who are the occupants of that particular Vastu are affected. So imagine one correct Vastu can impact all the lives of those people who are living in that house.
Yes, and who doesn't want to be in more harmony or peace or be more joyful? Everybody is looking for the same end result of every goal is the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Tanaya ji, there are a lot of people who are in their late 30s and who are not married. They're looking to marry. They are exploring they're not leaving any stone unturned, but still for some reason they're not getting married. Would you want to share something on that?
Yeah. So what happens is that during our lifetime, we run different dashas and antardashas. Now, a lot of these dashas and antardashas are very good yogas for us to find the right partner, get married and things like that. Sometimes it's such that a person will have this dasha come in during that, you know, typical period of 20s, 30s, and, you know, or maybe they have a lot of the planets supporting marriage, so they can get married at whatever age they want to. However, if there are some planets which are not supporting the marriage, and if you are actually running those dashas, then it can get a little bit tricky to find a partner and get settled down. The other thing that's seen very often is that this is again with due respect to Shani Dev, if he is sitting in your 7th house, for example, or if your Shani is very strong, it kind of shows that you being a perfectionist. You know, you're looking for maybe 25 things on your checklist to tick them off before you think that I found my right match. So sometimes just being very, very picky and choosy kind of derails you from being able to just find the right partner for you. So I think it's important to know that, you know, you can't get everything right, and you have to let just the, you know, universe take over a little bit of that. Don't put too much energy into just choosing what you want to have.
Right,
And
energy
being
and efforts that I want it right now. You create that space for the universe to work in its own alignment.
Absolutely. So there are definitely some karmic things where you have it in your prarabdh कि आपको इस जीवन में ये चीज से गुजरना ही है. So you might have to go through some difficult period that is there. However, for most people, I would say that it's just a slight correction. It could be as simple as a corrective measure. Like if your sun is bad in your chart, आपका सूर्य पीड़ित है, तो आप सुबह उठ के अपने पिताजी को प्रणाम कीजिए. आप जो सर्केडियन रिदम है उसको ठीक से फॉलो कीजिए. they're just very very simple things that can actually set those doshas in your chart right. So that's why I again come back to say that it's very important to find out what is that impediment that is not letting you get what you want, and then simple upayas and you can be on your way to.
So that's the best part, I feel, what you are sharing, that the upayas are very simple. It's not that you have to keep your head down and feet up for 10 hours every day. It's something which is very doable and which is very easy for a very long lasting effects. Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And that is why numerology actually has become so famous in the past few years. Why? Because it is so easy. You do not have to do anything on a regular basis.
It also helps in business, the numerology, what you are sharing about.
Business in a very, very big way. A business, when aligned to the owner's date of birth, when the business name is aligned and made powerful. So I have seen companies when they have changed their names, business names, and aligned themselves with numbers through mobile numbers or through product name numbers or through their emails, when everything comes together, bank account numbers. So when everything comes together, they have seen amazing shifts, in a matter of just 3 to 6 months.
This is getting more interesting now.
And that is why more and more business owners are actually waking up to this fact, and they are approaching numerologists to get them balanced. And the result is out there for everybody to be seen. So now the time has, really gone wherein you have to convince the clients about the effects and the impact and the positivity that numerology can bring into your life. It is all out there for the world to see.
And that reminds me, the scriptures in India are so ancient, and from the ancient time, India has been one of the richest countries in the world, one of the most wealthiest, whether in terms of material, whether there was the gold, whether it was about the spices, so in every term, whether it was business. So India has always been one of the wealthiest from this ancient knowledge, from our scriptures of what you are sharing.
Shastra, it is so very mentioned in our Vedic scriptures. And numerology, we think that it is a recent science. No. This science is age old, right from the Pythagoras time. So we have Chaldean numerology. It is ancient. It is just that this science was secretive in nature. This was not for the world, for the common man. So this science was basically hidden. It was a secret science which was not revealed to the common man. Only the powerful and the people who had all the luxuries of life were actually given the secret science of numbers.
I see.
Because once the vibrations are activated, it actually shows results very, very quickly. It is only recently that this science has been available for each one of us, and people are actually coming in, utilizing this science to make their lives better, to reap the benefits and make positive changes in their lives.
So you mean to share whatever was hidden is now an open secret?
Absolutely.
So the time just flew, the last 30-40 minutes. I really thank you, Tanaya ji and Puja ji, for being on the show with us on this podcast. Very beautiful insights two of you shared, which really opened up a lot of avenues and my thought process. I'm sure it was the same for our audience too. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having us here. And I would rather say that I think we have not even scratched the surface, There is such vast knowledge, which I think we would need multiple podcasts to even be able to convey to the audience that there's so much. So there's so much to share, but I believe we will keep giving more insights on and off to the audience.
Thank you, Puja ji. Thank you once again for coming on the show. Thank you, Tanaya ji.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So stay tuned with JyotirVastu Academy. And if you want one-to-one consultation with any of our acharyas, you can do that by logging on to JyotirVastuAcademy.org. Thank you for joining on the show. We'll have many more podcasts coming soon. Stay tuned.